Every sports generation gets that one electric moment when a kid graduates from prospect to global phenomenon. A flash where you realize you are watching history. But this time was an all-out, earth-shattering difference. Because when 16-year-old Lamine Yamal stepped onto that pitch against France, he didn't just score a goal, he detonated. He utterly silenced the very player who dared to say he wasn't ready.
Oh, in Rabiot's face! In Rabiot's...
And in the next 10 minutes, I'm going to show you how that one seismic strike didn't just make Yamal the youngest scorer in Euros history. It instantly transformed him into the teenager the entire world now compares to Lionel Messi. When Spain lined up against France at the Euros in 2024, most expected the weight of the nation to fall on their seasoned veterans, Rodri, Morata, Carvajal, Pedri, and so many others. But tucked into that lineup was the youngest player on the pitch, and perhaps the most crucial. But here's the thing. Lamine Yamal's explosion onto the world stage wasn't some miracle born out of nowhere. For those who had been watching closely, his rise felt less like a fluke and more like pure, undeniable destiny. Because Yamal wasn't just another La Masia graduate. He was the kid who never played at his own age. At 9, he was destroying 12-year-olds. At 15, he was already training with Barcelona's first team. Every time the bar was raised, he cleared it like it wasn't even there. And it wasn't just about his spectacular talent. It was his raw courage, his sheer fearlessness, the kind of lightning maturity you simply don't expect from a teenager who should still be in school. That's why when coaches talk about him, they all say the same electrifying thing. This one is different.
Has anyone done what this guy's done? He was playing, he'd broken all the records in terms of like youngest to play in La Liga, youngest to score, youngest to assist, youngest to play for Barca. Like, it's just crazy what he's done. He's broken all those records. He's the youngest.
To date, Yamal still stands utterly alone at the top when it comes to kids his age in terms of pure, raw talent. And you could even make the argument that he is actively in the conversation for the absolute best in the world today. But here's the ultimate question. How does a skinny kid from Rocafonda go from street football to carrying Barcelona's future to starting for Spain in the biggest tournament of his entire life? During Barcelona's golden dynastic era under Pep and Luis Enrique, greatness wasn't bought, it was built. Busquets, Xavi, Iniesta, Jordi Alba, Piqué, Messi. The system worked because the club completely trusted the kids. But somewhere along the way, Barcelona tragically lost that identity. They chased Galacticos instead of graduates. They spent fortunes on external stars who never fit the system. And the ultimate crushing downfall came with Bartomeu's corruption, financial chaos, and the heartbreak of being utterly unable to even renew Messi's contract. By 2023, the transfer market was a battlefield Barcelona couldn't even enter. The money was gone, the magic was gone, and the only path left was the one they had ruthlessly abandoned. So Xavi turned back to La Masia. And among the incredible talents he handpicked, one name stood out above the rest: Lamine Yamal. In April 2023, Yamal, at 15 years, 9 months, and 16 days, made his debut against Real Betis in a 4-0 win and almost scored a goal instantly as well.
And have been nicked off of Monzo by the youngster, and he's saved from Rui Silva.
Most thought it would be a short, beautiful cameo, a chance to say, we've got another La Masia talent cooking. But as you already know, the story played out completely differently. Because in those few electric minutes against Real Betis, Yamal didn't look like a child stepping onto the Camp Nou grass. He looked like he belonged. And the story didn't dare stop there. By the 2023-24 season, Yamal was starting games every single week. And he wasn't just featuring either. The kid was showing up and showing out against battle-hardened veterans.
He's good enough to play for any team in world football. That's how I think he's a superstar.
He was relentlessly making Barcelona's right wing his own. The preseason clash with Tottenham, he lit it up. His Champions League debut against PSG, he played without fear, like the occasion meant absolutely nothing. Honestly, if you didn't know his age and you were forced to guess, you'd comfortably say he was in his prime, kind of like Palmer. Because the way Yamal drifts in behind, sees passes a heartbeat before anyone else does, and creates magic almost out of nothing, it's almost too poetic. And it was exactly because of this spectacular burst of talent that the whispers began. Barcelona had found something breathtakingly rare, not just another academy gem, but the kind of player you build a team around. But while Barcelona frantically tried to manage his unprecedented rise, another battle was rapidly brewing. Because Yamal wasn't just Barcelona's secret anymore. He was the center of attraction. Spain desperately wanted him. Morocco desperately wanted him. Even Equatorial Guinea tried to stake their dramatic claim.
How do you protect him when he's so good? He's good enough to play for any team.
It didn't feel like an international selection. It felt like a global transfer war. Except the prize wasn't a trophy. It was a teenager who wasn't even old enough to travel alone. But as you already know, when the dust settled, only one federation was willing to risk absolutely everything on him: Spain. But the decision to stake Spain's future campaigns on a 16-year-old didn't sit well with everyone, and this high-stakes gamble would ignite fiery debates long before a ball was even kicked. In reality, on paper, before choosing Yamal, Spain had far safer options. For example, Brahim Diaz, proven, experienced, in form, and a Real Madrid star. Solid veterans who had already carried the shirt in big games. And yet, Luis de la Fuente made the call that utterly stunned the football world. He didn't pick Diaz, he picked a 16-year-old with barely half a season of senior football behind him. For many, it felt reckless, even irresponsible. Yamal was still just a kid, completely unproven on the international stage, the kind of player you usually protect, not build an entire campaign around. But maybe, just maybe, Spain saw something the rest of us had dramatically missed. Because years earlier, at a UNICEF event, Yamal had crossed paths with Lionel Messi, and in a photo that now feels absolutely prophetic, Messi rested his hand on Yamal's shoulder as if football itself was passing the torch. A silent moment, a powerful reminder that greatness sometimes arrives much sooner than expected. So when Spain placed their entire Euros campaign on his slender shoulders, it wasn't just a gamble, it was destiny being tested. But destiny isn't proven on paper, it's proven on the pitch. And as the Euros of 2024 began, every touch, every dribble, every decision Yamal made was under the most intense microscope. A 16-year-old carrying the desperate hopes of a nation. The world was waiting to see if the gamble would break him, or instead reveal something truly extraordinary. Going into Euro 2024, the full weight wasn't fully on Yamal. Spain still had veterans, depth, familiarity, Nico Williams creating width, Pedri dictating midfield, Morata or Joselu finishing, Rodri anchoring. The list goes on. Yamal was the spark, not the flame. Spain weren't even the favorite. Germany at home had a better chance. Also, there was already pre-tournament talk of France, England, and Portugal being stronger, and they were right to an extent. Spain were no longer the powerhouse they were in Iniesta's era, and Luis de la Fuente hadn't even proven himself yet, at least not at the top level. He already had much success with the under-21s, but expectations were wisely tempered, so if the teenage gamble had failed, there were others to step in. But Yamal wasn't about to be a footnote and be the passenger in someone else's story. He was about to write his own. And from the very first game, you could feel the electricity. At 16 years and 338 days, he became the youngest player ever to appear at the European Championships. And as if that wasn't enough, on the same incredible night, Yamal also became the youngest player to have a goal contribution as he feathered this wicked cross for Dani Carvajal in the 3-0 win against Croatia. Suddenly, the teenager was gradually making both history and headlines. Next came Italy, a brutal test of resilience. Italy lost that game 1-0, but what stood out was Yamal's palpable maturity. He didn't score or assist, but he stretched defenses, forced fouls, and created unrelenting panic. It wasn't the flashy numbers, it was the influence. You could see defenders looking twice before stepping up to him. At 16, he was already commanding respect. Then Albania, another 1-0 win. Yamal again in the starting 11. By the end of the group stage, Spain had 3 flawless wins, 5 goals scored, and remarkably, 0 conceded. And though the stats only showed 1 assist, the reality was clear. Yamal wasn't just part of the squad. He was the one who made Spain's attack click. But even if he was quiet in the group stages, the knockouts changed the temperature entirely. Because, as you already know by now, Yamal thrives on the biggest stages. And now it was his time to show the world what Lamine could truly do. In the round of 16 versus Georgia, Spain fell behind early, needing a sort of huge, immediate boost to come back. So Yamal did his thing.
Again, inviting ball must be! Spain have turned it around!
After putting up an outrageous performance the entire game, Yamal turned the game entirely on its head with his beautiful assist to Morata for 2-1, becoming the youngest player ever to register a knockout assist at the Euros. And after that, Spain took care of business as usual. But the real test came in the quarterfinals, Spain against the hosts, Germany, in Stuttgart. A classic showdown that agonizingly went to extra time. With the tension everywhere, Yamal yet again produced this, threading another crucial assist to push his team even further. That assist made it 3-goal contribution.
Spain are in front! What a goal it is. Brilliantly executed.
He equaled Cesc Fabregas's Spanish Euros record. But take note, he did it at 16. By now, there was no hiding the glorious truth. Yamal wasn't just the spark to that team. He was also a major reason they burned brightest. And yet the biggest stage was still to come. France in the semi-final. Kylian Mbappe on one side, Lamine Yamal on the other. Destiny against destiny. One wonder kid against another. The kind of colossal clash that doesn't just decide a tournament, it decides legacies. What better stage to truly announce your arrival than this? The stage was set for the most exciting game of the entire tournament so far. France versus Spain, a heavyweight clash. On paper, France were the overwhelming favorites. Why not? They were recent world champions. They'd gone toe-to-toe with Lionel Messi's Argentina in 2022 and almost stole it. Trying to
find Mbappe now. He'll steer back inside Thuram. Mbappe!
And now they stood against a young Spain side many thought wasn't ready. But here's the thing. This wasn't just any Spain team. This was a Spain team with Lamine Yamal, a Spain team with everything to prove. And if Yamal didn't already have fire in him, Adrien Rabiot gave it to him on a platter. If he wants to play in the final, he'll have to do more than he's done so far. Those words weren't just a quote. They were a challenge, a direct shot to Yamal. And what followed wasn't the same kid from the group stages. What you're about to witness is a different Yamal, sharper, hungrier, ready to seize his moment. And Rabiot? He was about to be the first victim. The game began with Mbappe on one side chasing history. Yamal, on the other hand, is 16, relentlessly chasing destiny. Then it happened. Yamal picks it up outside the box and does this.
Nice curl! Oh, I say what an unbelievable goal!
History was irrevocably made. The youngest goal scorer ever at the Euros. At 16, against France, in a semi-final. The stadium utterly erupted. That goal was indeed special. But you know what else? Would you believe it that this kid did it literally right in front of the same Adrien Rabiot, the same man who told the world Yamal wasn't ready. And now the ball was in the net, right past him. Honestly, even I couldn't have written a better script. Yamal hadn't just answered back. He'd announced himself to the world right there and then. From that moment, Spain never looked back. Dani Olmo added a second. France tried to rally, but it was over. Full time, Spain 2, France 1. But one moment told the whole story. Yamal smiling, standing tall. That was the moment. The chain of destiny wasn't waiting for Messi, Ronaldo, or Mbappe to pass the torch. Lamine Yamal took it for himself. But here's the final, brutal thing. Beating France was only half the battle. The real test was waiting at the very end. Could a 16-year-old kid, fresh off making history, actually carry Spain all the way and win the Euros final? July 14th, 2024. Spain versus England. England came into this final desperate. For decades, football's coming home had been a song, not a reality. An army of stars, England had prepared for this exact moment. And after heartbreak in 2021, they weren't here to play second place again. But Spain had something England didn't. Spain had a 16-year-old who had already defied every law of football logic. And yet, here's what's crazy. At kickoff, nobody thought this would be Yamal's final. England's plan was simple: shut him down, press him, push him wide, make him disappear. But from the very first touches, you could feel the unstoppable force. Every time he got the ball, England's defenders couldn't do a thing. The kid was too calm, too confident. He didn't look like a teenager on borrowed time. He looked like the best player on the pitch. Then came this moment again. Yamal surges forward, draws two defenders, slips it through. Nico Williams finishes. Spain 1, England 0. Another assist, another record shattered. The youngest player to ever assist in a Euros final. And just like that, the tone was set. England fought, but Spain strangled them with control. When the whistle blew, it wasn't just 2-1 Spain. It was a coronation. The youngest Euros winner ever. The youngest finalist ever. A tournament with more assists than almost anyone else. Records that might stand for decades. But more than the numbers, it was the image. 16 years old, holding the trophy aloft, smiling like it was just another La Masia training day. For Spain, it was redemption. For football, it was prophecy fulfilled. And for England, it was heartbreak again. If you want to follow the story of how a 15-year-old Messi single-handedly destroyed Real Madrid's $1 billion plus Galacticos, watch the video on your screen.
Now I want to hear from you. Is Lamine Yamal already a top 5 player in the world? Or does he still have more to prove? Drop your bold predictions and opinions in the comments below. And if you were blown away by this story of destiny, hit the like button and subscribe. That's how you make sure you never miss the next football legend we break down.